Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 4 of the anime series Hibike Euphonium, and I had a lot of fun with this episode. Taki-sensei is putting everyone through like this just completely outlandish, seemingly, rigmarole at the start. You know, getting them all dressed up in their gym outfits and having them run on the track. It's kind of like, what the hell is he even doing? But it's really intriguing because it all has to do with breathing exercises and putting people, to task effectively. I mean, he says in this episode, at the start, I asked all of you, what do you want to do? Do you want to have fun or do you want to go for the nationals? It was your choice. And now I'm here to, sort of pick up the slack that you guys are all sort of leaving off with. And you still have people really disliking him heavily, putting them through all this rigmarole. I mean, again, breathing exercises like trying to keep a handkerchief up in the air for 10 minutes straight or whatever it is, trying to blow out toward the clouds, but do it in a sort of streaming framework as if you're, not just forcing out the breath, but trying to do it with a methodology, that kind of situation. And even the running around the track and then picking up the instruments, and there are certain lip slurs you're supposed to train yourself to be able to do, and rather than using the instrument, use the mouthpieces is one of the girls' suggestions. And I just like how, in the face of the adversity of the previous episode and how everything has culminated since then, in sort of the wake of, Taki-sensei's becoming very unpopular among all the students, all the people who want to partake in this band environment, there was a unification, even still. And, of course, we do see a little more growth, I guess you could say, in the, sort of divide that has been existing, or at least perceived, whether ill-perceived or not, on Kumiko's part, between she and Kosaka. You have, Kumiko and Shuichi talking about Taki-sensei, and I love how, they're not even aware that they're sort of being eavesdropped on by Kosaka. She just happens to live nearby. But she, much in a similar fashion as the sensei himself, takes them to task, and she's very much in support of what the sensei is doing. And I found that very intriguing, but it's perfectly logical with the way Kosaka sees this whole situation. She wasn't so much being like, mean to them or upset as much as I think Kumiko thought, and Kumiko really, she's still got to get over that hurdle of that sort of divide between them. But I think it's more of a perceived divide than an actual existing one. As we see, basically Kosaka pulls Kumiko off to the side, and you got Kumiko thinking, oh my god, she's going to kill me, taking to the back of the school. They're showing these dramatic shots of, like, the garbage canister and everything. Like, she's so freaked out, but basically Kosaka's like, I think I overstepped my bounds a little bit, and I apologize. And I love that Kumiko finally took the reins and said something, expressed feelings she has been keeping bottled up, as far as how moved she was by Kosaka's playing that dirge in the previous episode by herself, when they weren't going to be trying to, have practice, basically, and how inspiring that was to her. And I love that sort of flush look on Kosaka's part, because I think this kind of, unraveled a little bit of her own sort of reservation. She's been keeping sort of self-contained because who else can she really go to? Nobody really gets the music and the passion she has for it, like she does herself. So I love that there is this communicative bridge now between them, which hopefully will grow over time. But again, calling back to what Taki-sensei has been putting them through, it's for good cause. And there's even this whole harmonizing segment where, he wants them to play a note on their instruments, but first he wants them to sing the note and kind of understand, the tonal, qualities of that note vocally first, and then harness it and try to recapture it with the playing of the instrument. And this goes leaps and bounds, even though he gets one girl, a flutist, crying at one point, and he seems like he's being mean to everybody except for, our particular main group. It's still for good cause, because they go leaps and bounds. When he finally calls them all together to play as an ensemble, you can hear it as soon as the music starts. As soon as he begins conducting, you can hear the solid, almost perfection. I mean, I'm not going to say it was the most perfect piece of music ever conceived or, played or what have you, but you can hear how much they've improved. And it was like such a satisfactory moment for me, like watching, like they came together. They learned something. They've harnessed the ability. And what's more, now this sensei, who one girl still doesn't like because he's like, mocking their youth or what have you, but he admits to them, you've done it. You're going to Sunfest. This is how we're going to be practicing from here on out. If you want to take this seriously, we're going to do it this way, that way, and the other thing. Just more absurd and seemingly extreme practice for Sunfest. But they achieved that goal. It was like the first goal of many. It was the first hurdle of many. They had to get over their own pride. They had to get over their own reluctance to want to, take this seriously. And they did it. And it was so satisfying to hear them play and to realize, and to see, Taki-sensei smile at the end, signifying, I'm proud of you kids. You did it. It was such a great moment, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 4 of Hibike Euphonium, if you've seen it. Were you as satisfied by the end as I was? Do you like the character dynamics going on between Kumiko and Kosaka and Asuka once again? Even though she had a smaller sort of featured role in this episode, I love that character. She's so outgoing and vivacious and hilarious. But I like all the characters, really. There isn't any that I'm like, why do we have to waste time dealing with them on screen? I love the entire, I think the emphasis is, in more ways than one, an ensemble. It's not just about the music ensemble, it's about the cast. I like them all. I didn't think I'd really get into Shuichi that much either. Like, I just love the comical reactions when he realizes he's gotten under Kosaka's ire, because he's been saying or suggesting things about Taki-sensei in a negative connotation. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this episode. Really enjoyed it. I love this show. And so yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode and where you think it's going to be going. Speculation only, please. No spoilers, from the origin material, as I always ask. And otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this video. Find you well, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.